Yes, welcome along to episode 11 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch, looking ahead to the 2020 Cheltenham Festival. All right, Gavin.
All right, Dave, lad.
How was your week?
Great. I went to see Liverpool beating Spurs on
I
Saturday.
knew you were putting on an accent there.
Yeah.
That's your Scouse accent?
Yep.
Are you going to do the whole show in a Scouse accent?
Definitely not.
Go on, do a little bit. Give me a little bit more. How was the match?
It was great. Great stadium.
Great stadium.
Great result.
Great result.
And lastly, we're going to win the league.
We are going to win the league. Who was the best player on show?
Wijnaldum.
That's hard to do in a Scouse accent. Do you know, right, when I'm doing accents, I'm terrible at accents.
Okay.
I can only do accents in the word of the place that I'm doing the accent from.
All right.
So I can do Liverpool,
Okay.
Newcastle. So it has to be the actual place that it's from. How bad is that?
Not great.
Yeah, but of course, Liverpool is not till April. The Grand National's not till April. We're talking about all things Cheltenham, which starts in March. So let's get cracking. Now, as always on Upping The Ante, we're going to kick off with our questions from the crowd. And our first question this week, Gavin, comes in from Paul Hendricks. And Paul Hendricks has a very, very interesting question. He says, David and Gavin, can you both tell me who was the worst value favourite of the entire 2020 Cheltenham Festival? The one horse that he should definitely not be backing. Okay, you go first.
ANTE-POST.
Okay.
You have to be careful how you say that. No hesitation saying him. 4 runs and bumpers, wins a Galway bumper short head, runs out through the rail in Epperson, which is never a good sign. 4th in Cheltenham, 2nd in Punchestown to a mare. And then 4 runs over hurdles, wins a maiden hurdle in Gorn Park, didn't jump very well. Then it beat latest exhibition over 2.5 in Navan, right?
Form working out well?
Sorry, over 2 miles, and latest exhibition won over 2.5 since, and is going to the Bartlett. Then it was second in by Allen. And
Strong
then
form.
At Christmas, it beats a mare called Heaven Help Us. She ran since there in
Yeah,
Thurles.
only rated 129.
Yeah, and she was well beat in an ordinary enough mare's hurdle. The other two in that race at Christmas, Blue Sarian and Embittered, ran no race whatsoever. So misses the odd little hurdle, travels very well, will travel to the bend in the Supreme. I could just see it being out battle.
But the closer we're getting to the festival, the closer Abracadabras is becoming the Irish banker on the opening day.
I think he's around 7-2 for the Supreme and Bet365.
What price will he go off?
He'll definitely go off bigger than that, I would say. 4-1, 5-1. It depends what happens in the meantime, but he's definitely beatable. And he's too short of that. He should be 5-1.
Okay, well, it's going to be a bad start to the Cheltenham Festival for Gigginstown because I think the worst value favourite is Notebook in the Race and Post Arkle. He's 9-2 at the moment. I know he's a terrific jumper, but his hurdles form leaves him with plenty to find.
30 odd, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I know he's been brilliant in his couple of starts over fences this season, but I just worry about the form of the race last. I'm not sure if Facu de Dares was given the best ride. The race fell apart a little bit. I just have questions. I'd just be surprised if there wasn't something good enough to come on.
With more gears, maybe.
Yeah, to beat Notebook. So Abracadabras and Notebook both
First 2
beaten.
races of the festival.
Michael and Eddie, I hope you're not watching. Our second question comes in from Steve Hyam, and Steve wants to know, he says, it's a great show, lads. He's delighted with the show. That's good start. But he wants to know about you, Gavin, and he wants to know, have you any ANTE-POST multiples done?
I have too many to list.
Right, well, give us
Loads
a
done,
flavour. Give us a flavour.
I don't know, too many. I'm going to give...
So you actually have a good few multiples done already?
Yeah. I'm going to give one now. I'll give a Yankee for you, 4 horses.
Okay.
Here we go, good
well,
value.
Not for me, it's for the viewers.
Okay.
I have my own thoughts.
Carefully selected at 6-1 for the 4 miler, or the 3 mile
National
6.
Hunt Chase.
Glenlow at 8-1 for the Kim Muir, 4-1 Alboom Photo for the Gold Cup, and 12-1, I like the way you're thinking, for the Martin Pipe. They're the price for Bet365.
So if all them 4-1, that would be sweet.
Won't be here next year.
Yeah, no, you will, Gavin. You love this show too much. So give us them 4 again.
Carefully selected, Glenlow, Alboom Photo, and I like the way you're thinking.
Okay, excellent. There's 4 for Upping The Ante viewers if you want to stick them in a Yankee. And Gavin has double figure multiple bets done.
A good few, yeah.
Okay, whoa, that's very interesting. Okay, 06 Kylie on YouTube wants to know, why isn't Gavin all over Tiger Road for the cross country? Is the better opposition this year putting you off? Gavin, we've barely spoken about Tiger Road. This time last year, people were sick of listening about Tiger Road.
Yeah. Well, in November, I picked Yanworth to win the cross country 10-1.
Yeah, that went well.
Simply because of value, and at the time, obviously the talk was that Tiger Road was injured. He's had an operation since, is fine. Gordonelli gave it a green light last week. So if Tiger Roll on the day is even money or better, I'll definitely back it.
Okay, and Upping The Ante viewers want to know, what are the chances of Tiger Roll getting into your ANTE-POST portfolio before the festival?
I know, just too short. I think it's 5 or 6 to 4 at the minute. Love the horse, but if you tip up too many of them short ones, people give out. So I went for a 10 to 1
Is he in many
shot.
of your multiples?
None yet, no.
None?
No.
Whoa, he was the most important. He was the Jordan Henderson on your multiples last year.
He was the one, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But no, I will back him if the rumours are good that he's fit, or if he gets a run beforehand, which he mightn't. But
would you be more surprised if he did or didn't win?
I'd be surprised if he got beat if he shows up on the day. Yeah.
Excellent.
Like I seen the video of last year's win just recently, and
I thought you watch it every night, no? Before going to bed.
Sure, he won by, I'd say, 20 lengths, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was very impressive. So we're not ruling out Tiger Road, but just a little bit short, given we haven't seen him so long.
Just at the price at the time in November, yeah.
Excellent. There you go. That was this week's questions from the crowd. Okay, so now Upping the Ante viewers, it's time for the week that was. Every horse that has caught Gavin Lynch's eye over the last 7 days is going to be spoken about now.
Not a magic week, but should we go through them? Wednesday
Can't all be magic, Gavin.
No. Wednesday in Ludlow, Mick Pastor, a horse that had ran very, very keen previously at Cheltenham, was beaten 40 lengths by All Mankind, but he behaved himself a bit better in Ludlow.
I like him now.
Yeah, very good horse.
He beat Prefontaine, who's got a bit of back form, and liked the way he travelled, liked the way he jumped.
He won an O'Tie last May, so
he's not too bad now.
Yeah, he'd have a chance in the Boodles, as it's called now.
Good solid start.
Yeah, Thursday, Lord Royal won a maiden hurdle in Clonmel by 30 lengths, so he's probably not a bad horse.
Were you on?
I had a few quid in it.
Were you? There was no anxious moment apart from at the last.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake.
Gave you a heart attack. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's a pity Goshen didn't get to run on Friday. Now it's right-handed, so we've got that big question, can he go left-handed? But Huntington was called off. Frodon on Saturday in Kempton was...
We got him wrong.
Pretty much. Yeah.
We thought he was finished.
Yeah, and Top Notch wasn't so good.
No, it was a very un-top-notch-like performance. Just didn't really flow, nothing really... They're the races he usually picks up, and he didn't.
No, he was
Frodon, Ryanair, most likely winner?
Yeah, no, I don't think so, but he's 7-1 for the Ryanair to regain his title from last year. Jumped well, Bryony Frost gave it a good ride. A little out to his left, so obviously going left-handed will suit better. And also, Saturday in Kempton, Never Adapt. Did you see that win the last race?
Very keen and still had something left in the tank.
Yeah, very, very keen. One off 130. It's only had 4 lifetime starts, so it could improve a lot.
I'd say it's still well handicapped.
It'll probably get, £10? So 140, he'll go for the county hurdle. And it's a 12-1 favourite with Bet365, the county hurdle.
Excellent.
Also on Saturday in Fairyhouse, Wolf Prince won by a length and a quarter, but it was kind of a messy race. The other horse came to him at the last and he shook the reins and he went away. So he's 10-1 favourite for the Boodles Juvenile.
Is that the only horse you mentioned in that race, yeah?
The third horse, Armax, ran a nice race, and second was Hammersmith.
We might come to Armax later on in the show.
Also on Saturday in Warwick, there was some good racing there. Mossy Fen, a horse that you tipped up.
I did, yeah.
He won over 2.5. He looks like he wants 4 miles.
It's a bit harsh.
But he's 21 for the Bartlett.
Yeah, he's a type that could run well. He's a good jumper.
The Bartlett can be a funny race.
I thought he'd a bit up his sleeve. I thought he was kind of still green coming down to the last.
Yeah, he just got there now.
And Decker Orlando, what a story that is for Noel Kelly. Picked the horse up for £1,000, just beaten on the line. Yeah. They're going to have a crack at the Ballymore, and why not?
Why not?
Rate 145 in England.
Very good. There was also a Pertemps qualifier. With the Pertemps qualifiers, you're watching the first 3, but you're also watching 4, 5 and 6.
And did you spot last year's winner?
Yeah, Sire de Burley.
Oh, that was like... I'd say Aidan Coleman, that was the most pleased that JP and Frank would have been with a rider in a long time.
Where they wanted to finish was 4th or 5th or 6th.
Perfect ride. Well done, Aidan.
He's off 152. Last year he won it off 145. And even the other day he didn't travel or jump that well. He just... Like, do you remember the ride he got last year from Barry? It was a great ride to win last year.
Yeah, best ride of the entire festival.
Silver Sheen won the Pertemps on Saturday. It led, then it dropped to 4th and came back to win again. He's very unexposed. He only had 5 lifetime starts, 1 off 130, so he should get into it for Jessica. And on Sunday then, in Punchestown, 3 horse to mention, Carefully Selected, who I like, won the Grade 3 over 2.5 mile. I didn't actually back it because what worried me from Fairyhouse was that it jumped out to its left. Did so again, but jumped a lot better.
It'll help in Cheltenham.
Yeah, going the other way around will definitely suit it. So,
your thoughts on City Island? And
just to say, Carefully Selected, we'll talk about it later, but it's not qualified yet for the 4 miler. But City Island, yeah, they just hunted around, didn't they? Just gave it a nice day out.
He jumped quite well.
Yeah.
I thought it was just winning would be great, obviously, but it was more a case of this horse has to have a clear round. Yeah. Has to.
Has to, yeah.
And that's what happened.
He'll never get into a Close Brothers, will he?
145? No, he couldn't.
Doubt.
No. Be interesting if he did.
It'd be very hard for the handicapper to assess what level to give it.
Impossible.
Also, Andy Dufresne and Captain Guinness fought out a good battle.
Your thoughts. I'm interested to hear the Gavin Lynch view in this race because all the cool dudes are fancying Captain Guinness for the Supreme.
I can see
if
why.
you go through Twitter, all you see is Captain Guinness this, Captain Guinness that. People are more impressed with Captain Guinness than Andy Dufresne. Has he any chance in the Supreme?
I think he has. I looked at the Navan run and the Punchestown run this morning, the video of them. Settled quite well in Navan. The other day, jumped off in 3rd, came down the outside, jumped to 2nd, 3rd. But what happened was down the hill, the horse just took off. It's very seldom that you'd see a horse run that keen and still fight out the battle at the end against a good horse. So I think it has a chance,
So, as I said, all the cool kids are on for the Supreme, and you're a cool kid. Have you backed Captain Guinness for the Supreme?
I won't lose in the race if that wins. You
knew it. I knew you would have backed it. You got sucked into the hype.
You have to have a saver in Captain Guinness in the Supreme.
Okay.
Definitely.
Really?
And the last thing to mention is that we've Leopardstown coming up in a couple of weeks, and Willie Mullins and No Meat have said it. And I as well just pray that the ground is soft in Leopardstown.
Well, it's raining quite a bit in the last week.
No, but it just, like what happened last year can't happen again.
No. Okay.
It just wouldn't be right, so.
Is your week that was finished?
Yep.
That was the week that was. So as you know by now, myself and Gavin each week tackle a race at the Cheltenham Festival, and this week it is the turn of the National Hunt Chase, now over 3 miles and 6 furlongs, formerly the 4 miler, now the 3 mile sixer as christened on Upping The Ante. I think it's going to catch on. So we're just going to have a look at some Bet365 prices. Current 6-1 joint favourites at the moment are Carefully Selected and Champagne Classic. It's 8-1 Battle Over Diane. It is 12-1 Faheen, 14-1 Danny Whizbang, 14-1 Tarada, 14-1 Two for Gold, 20-1 Aye Charlie, 20-1 Master Tommy Tucker, and it is 25-1 Bar. Gavin, you were very impressed with Carefully Selected.
Yeah, you'd imagine that stepping up and trip is going to suit it. Going left-handed is going to suit. It's quite an unexposed horse, so it deserves to be at least joint favourite.
And you've got all the criteria that changes to the rules in the National Hunt Chase.
Yeah, so obviously we know that last year the race didn't go so well for everybody, and they've made some changes. So now
didn't go well for me anyway, back this Garama.
Did you? Yeah, I think it did too. First thing is that we know it's down to 3 mile 6. They've dropped it by 2 fences down to 23. You have to have an official rating of 120 or bigger.
Really?
Yeah. You also have to have ran twice over fences. The next one is that you have to finish in the first 4 over 2 miles 7.5 or further. So say 3 miles. You have to finish in the first 4.
Okay.
So for example, Carefully Selected is not qualified yet. Also, for example, if say Faheen runs in the flow gas over 2 mile 5 in the Dublin Racing Festival, he won't be qualified for that race. So it is important.
I don't think a lot of people know that.
And you also have to have ran once this season over fences. And also for jockeys, you must have ridden in 20 races, not including point-to-points, and you have to have won 5 times over fences.
Interesting.
And I also did the stat of the week on the National Hunt Chase.
Excellent. Take it away.
The first thing to note is that because it's an extended distance, a bit like the Albert Bartlett, it can be very tough for punters. So in the last 6 years, no favourite out of 6, which is probably not surprising.
One of my glorious moments came in the National Hunt Chase. Manila Rocco, Derek O'Connor, what a ride.
And one of mine was Back in Focus back in 2013.
Can you not let me have one, right? Just let me have that one, will you?
Sorry.
Just always compete. Go on.
10 out of 12 winners were between 6 and 8, so even if it's an 8-year-old, that's fine. 9 out of the 12 winners had previously had a run in Cheltenham, so course experience is no harm. 10 out of 12 have won over 3 miles or further, because obviously staying is the name of the game in that race, so that has to happen. And 9 out of 12 had won a race that season. But probably the most important stat is that out of the last 9 years, Patrick Mullins, Derek O'Connor and Jamie Codd have won the race twice each.
Okay.
So 6 out of 9, which
jockeys
is 2/3.
paramount.
Yeah, so if you go for one of those 3 jockeys, you have a massive chance.
Excellent in-depth analysis there from our very own Gavin Lynch. Now let's talk through a few of these. We spoke about Carefully Select, the Champagne Classic, my very first tip on Upping The Ante. Rock solid. Good run against Battle Over Diane.
Great run.
Yeah, Gordon is mad to go for the race. I just hope Eddie and Michael don't throw 2 of them into the RSA, but I don't think so.
I don't think they will. They usually split them up, don't they?
As I said to you, he's got a bit of class. He's a course winner. He stays. He's a quick jumper. To me, he ticks a lot of boxes, but I'm just worried.
Has he too many gears, no?
Yeah, I'm just worried. Carefully Selected is this relentless galloper. And I just wonder, it's going to be hard for Champagne Classic to
when
pick
they
him
turn
up.
in Champagne Classic, he'll be tanking, won't he?
Yeah.
But will he go by him?
Yeah, I love them types. I love them tanking types.
I just wonder, as I said to you before, if it was me, I'd run him and the RSA and Battle Over Diane in this one.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're not listening.
No, maybe they won't.
So 6-1 joint favourites, Carefully Selected, Champagne Classic. If you had to pick between the two, who would you pick?
Between Carefully Selected and Champagne Classic?
Yes.
Sorry, Carefully Selected.
Okay, and a Champagne Classic for me. 8-1 Battle Over Diane. We think he's going to go for the RSA?
I'd say so.
I think he will, because Michael and Eddie love this horse. Like, if you remember, Michael O'Leary said after Applesjade won at Leopardstown at Christmas, he said, I wasn't going to come today, it was only that the kids could come, and I really wanted to come tomorrow because Battle Over Diane was running. And you'd be saying to yourself, surely you'd want to see Applesjade more than Battle Over Diane, but no, they love Battle Over Diane. But we think he's going to go for the RSA. 12 to 1 Faheen, probably not going to run here.
Well, he's probably not because he probably won't be qualified to run. I'd say this year could end up with less runners in the race because of the new rules.
Excellent. All the better for Champagne Classic. Danny Whizbang.
He was well beat.
He could run in this.
He could.
Yeah. And he stays. He's a dour stayer.
Yeah. Maybe he'd have a chance, yeah.
Tarada, 2 for gold. Should have good attitude for Kim Bailey to win at Warwick on Saturday.
Yeah, but just wouldn't have the class of some of the others, I don't think.
Charlie. Master Tommy Tucker won't run here because he's not going to get the trip, but he's a very, very good horse. I'm still convinced of it.
You think he would have won at Kempton?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I think so. So there you go. That's the National Hunt Chase. It's Champagne Classic, who I am loyal to for me, and it is carefully selected for Gavin Lynch. That was our preview of the National Hunt Chase. So what you want to know now is what's happening this week, and we've got some Grade 1 action at Ascot on Saturday. Yes, it is the Matchbook Clarence House Chase, and it sees a rematch. What a rematch we have in store. As Defi Desai and Undeso renew rivalry, it's 4-6 with Bet365, Defi Desai. It is 13-8 Undeso. It is 9-1 Janika, 20-1 Capeland, and 50-1 rank outsider is Maracuja. Gavin Lynch, Defi Desai. Is he going to repeat his Tingle Creek heroics?
I think so, yeah. I don't see why not.
How impressed were you at Sandown with Defi Desai?
Yeah, she was great. Obviously, the thing like the Sandown Hill is tricky for him. Barry has to time it right. He can't let Undeso kick on 3 or 4 lengths clear because if he makes a mistake 2 out, he's gone too far behind. So he's a tricky horse to time it right, but Barry's very good in him. So he keeps winning and winning. I'll keep backing him. And
they do click together. He kind of knows him inside out. They both have serious respect for each other.
Yeah. No, it'll be a great race. Undeso might get a solo out in front, but it'll just be interesting to watch the tactics.
If Defi Desai wins this and wins it impressively, is he your champion chase winner in waiting?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. So 4-6 Defi Desai value at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's okay. You're not going to get much better really, are you? There's 4 to 5 out there, but I think 4 to 6 is fine.
Yeah, I think it's one for your multiples on Saturday. We're both in the Defi Desai camp for the
strange thing actually is that Undeso was rated 170 and Defi Desai was rated 163 before Sandown. It was now 166. So the handicapper actually has Undeso as
I just think
rated.
The performance at Punchestown means he has to have a higher rating, and Defi Desai probably hasn't got a chance to get to that level.
If he beats him again, though, he'll have to reassess it.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's better than 166 horse. And also on Saturday over at Haydock, we've got the Sky Bet Supreme Trial. It's the Rossington Main Novices Hurdle. It's a Grade 2. And if all these show up, we are in for a treat. Because at the moment with Bet365, Edward Stone is your 13-8 favourite. It is Marie's Rock, Gavin's ANTE-POST selection for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle is 4-1. My Supreme Novices Hurdle selection, Mr. Coffee, is 4-1. Ribble Valley, a bit disappointing at Ascot last time, is at 9-2. The Banner King Rebel is 9-2. Stolen Silver is 8-1. And it's 10-1 bar. Gavin, if all these show up, we're going to learn a lot.
I don't think they will because the ground is heavy in Haydock, so it's hard to see that happening. But I'd love to see Marie's Rock taking on the boys, yeah.
Yeah. Marie's Rock, obviously, this was the race he does want a runner in, but it's just ground really that's going to stop him, really, isn't it?
Yeah, she's won there before, and then she won since in Taunton. So she'd have a right chance, yeah.
Edward Stone, any chance in the Supreme?
He beat Fiddler on the roof, so I suppose he'd have to have a chance, but we'll see on Saturday.
Yeah, and Mr. Coffee, form franked at Lingfield, would you believe, on Monday. As the horse, I think they finished maybe 7th or 8th, absolutely bolted up by 19 lengths.
Right.
So that's quite interesting for Mr. Coffee. Put it this way, if Mr. Coffee shows up here, there's not a hope from being 4-1.
No. Whatever Nico rides won't be 4-1.
Exactly, yeah. But we probably won't. We have to wait a little bit longer perhaps to see Mr. Coffee, but I still think he is the real deal. And the new one hurdle is a 3:15 at Haydock on Saturday. It's new one hurdle, which is bonkers, because the horse is called the new one, but this is this is going to be hard to do, right? Yeah. The horse is called the new one, but this race is called
after
new
him.
One hurdle, even though it's called after him. Makes sense of that. They forgot the day. What wins the new one hurdle?
Pentland Hill is the obvious favourite. Travelled great in Cheltenham the last day, jumped very well, looked to win at the last, and then got tired, coming up the hill.
Do you know what?
But
I don't like him.
I don't know, because
I don't like him.
The ground is heavy at the weekend, right? And his 3 wins last season were in good to soft and good. So I just wouldn't be backing him at 5-4. No,
not mad, no.
I wonder would Durasso have a chance?
Yeah, well, if the ground is the way they're describing, if it's going to be up to their knees, Durasso wins this.
Yeah, I think so.
And at the prices, I think that price on Durasso could be significantly shorter come the race.
I give him a good chance, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're agreeing here, Gavin.
Good.
And I've got a selection and a pretty strong fancy in the 240 at Haydock. It is the Peter Marks Chase. Acting Glass is Bet365, current 4-1 favourite. Prime Ventures 9-2. Champers on Ice 13-2. Definitely Red 7-1. And it is 10-1 bar. Gavin, I've won in this.
Go ahead.
14-1.
What's that?
It's called something you were probably doing at the weekend in London. Get on the Jaeger. Harry Skelton, Dan Skelton, almost won a big handicap last Saturday with Captain Chaos ran a cracker. Second to Kimberlite Candy. I think this Get on the Jaeger is made for the Peter Marsh Chase. It's going to be bottomless ground. The trip is perfect. The track is perfect. It's £3 lower than the mark it finished third off in the Midlands National last March. I think this is his time of year, Get on the Jaeger. He's 14-1 with Bet365. He won't be 14-1 on the day.
So get on.
Get on the Jaeger. Get on the Jaeger up in the Ante viewers. I think 14-1 is a massive price. So Gavin, that's what's happening this week. So Gavin, I think we should have a look at our ANTE-POST selections for the 2020 Cheltenham Festival. Just see how we're getting on.
Only because they're not too bad.
Yeah, just to give ourselves a bit of confidence going into this week's selections. And of course, your list, Envoy Allen is the team captain, 11-4 to win any race. Fakir de Dares in there at 8-1
God
to win
knows
any
which
race.
race he'll run in, by the way. I wouldn't say he's guaranteed to run the Arkle.
No?
No, I'd say 40-60 in favour of for the Arkle. But he'd still have a chance of running in the JLT, I think.
Well, you cute whore.
In the Marsh.
You have him to win any race, so it doesn't make any difference to you. You've got Yanworth for the cross-country chase at 10-1. Gypsy Island for
Next.
the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. That's gone unaccepted for the Supreme. Now, you were saying to me earlier, you're not giving up on unaccepted.
Not totally. I'd like to see him once more over 2 miles.
Okay.
Back in a good race. Whether he goes to the Dublin Racing Festival, I don't know. But I'd like to see him once more.
Time Hill 14-1 for the Albert Bartlett. Happy?
He'll win, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a great chance if he goes there. I like the way you're thinking, of course. We just can't have a show without mentioning I like the way you're thinking. 25-1 to win any race. How you snap that up, I do not know. Paisley Park 7-4 for the Stairs Hurdle. Rock solid. Glenlow to win any race 10-1. Of course, Glenlow is what Glenlow is. He is extremely well handicapped. Aplu Tar to win the Ryanair 16-1. Cracking pick, I have to say. That would be, of all your picks at the time that you picked that, that's a brilliant one. All Mankind for the Triumph Hurdle 7-1. Album Photo for the Gold Cup, ridiculous 4-1. He'd be that on the day. And Marie's Rock, Mayor's Novice Hurdle 8-1. Of course, you won the flip last week.
Yep.
So you're happy.
That's grand. Yep.
Happy, yeah. You still should be ashamed of yourself over Album Photo. Even people watching the show were scratching their heads going, where is he coming from?
He's going to win.
Yeah, but sure.
Go
Give
look
me
at last
4-1
year's,
on the day.
Go and look at last year's Gold Cup.
And my list at the moment, Champagne Classic, tipped up at 10-1 for the National Hunt Chase. I'm petrified of carefully selected, but there you go. Nothing you can do about that. Sharjah 33-1 for the Champion Hurdle now. 8. Min for the Ryanair. He's my captain.
Is he?
Min for the Ryanair. I think he's going to be extremely hard to beat. I just think he's a better horse than Froden. City Island for the Arkle, forget about that. Time Hill for the Ballymore. Hopefully he'll go in that direction, and I think he's going to give me a chance. Stand Up and Fight for the Fox Hunters. We want to be seeing him soon.
You would.
Aspire Tower 20-1 for the
Good
Triumph
pick,
Hurdle. Yeah, happy enough with that one. The Storyteller, that was the shrewd one. That was the one where people said, oh, maybe he does know what he's talking about. 16s into 8s for the Thames Final. Mr. Coffee 33-1s for the Supreme. Love that horse. Itchy Feet 20-1 for the Marsh Chase, formerly known as the JLT. Mellon at 12-1 for the Arkle.
Mellon.
Still a bit disappointed myself for tipping that, but I think he's got a great chance. And Early Doors to win any race at the Cheltenham Festival, 14-1. So now it's time to find out this week's selections that we're going to add to that list. Yes, Upping The Ante viewers, it is of course the moment you've all been waiting for. It is the latest instalment of our ANTE-POST tips for the 2020 Cheltenham Festival, and we've got 2 each this week. And Gavin, if you let me, I'll go first because you stole Marie's Rock with me last week. There's going to be no toss. I'm going first. And my first selection comes in the Close Brothers Novices Handicap Chase, and it goes by the name Hold the Note. 16-1 with Bet365. I was absolutely sick. It was 20-1 until 7:30 this morning. And some shrewdy backed it. So it's only 16-1 now with Bet365 for the Close Brothers. But I love this horse. I really do. I think he ticks so many boxes. He was rated 133. Very hard for me to say. 133 going into the Grade 2 Novice Chase at Warwick on Saturday. Trade at 1.16 in running.
Yep.
Just outstayed. Didn't think he quite got home. But the way he jumped those 5 fences in a row at Warwick, which is a real test of a novice, I thought it was brilliant. Thought he travelled, jumped like the best horse in the race. I was just thinking he was rated 133. I was hoping he might go up to the low 140s. He's got a mark now of 145. So he's gone up £12 for finishing second.
Really?
Which is a big, big hike. But
definitely gets in anyway.
the Close Brothers is 0-145. And as we know, it's such a condensed handicap. They're all going to be within £3 or £4 of one another. And I think this could be a future star. Hold the Note. If you remember, Mick Shannon in the same colours won the race in 2018 with Mr. Whittaker. And if you're worried about the weight, if he goes there, which I think he has to now because he's got a mark of 145, if you're worried that he's going to have top weight, don't be worried at all. Because if you look back through recent winners of the race, even at Plutard last year was rated 144. Mr. Whittaker won the race in 2018. I know he was only off a mark of 137, but Ranjani Express carried top weight, so he did. And the other one who carried top weight was Ballyalton. So top weights can win the Close Brothers, and I think Hold the Note has got a cracking chance. He's 16-1. I don't think he'll be 16-1 today. Did I convince you?
Yes.
Did I? Oh, no. Good stuff. And my second selection is in the Boodles Juvenile Hurdle, also known as the Fred Winter, and it is a horse called Aramax that is trained by Gordon Elliott, owned by JP McManus, and hopefully ridden by Barry Geraghty. I think Aramax has got the perfect profile for the Fred Winter. Now, obviously, he fell, thrown into a Grade 1 first time, was absolutely knackered when he fell. I don't think he was fit enough. He was third on Saturday to Wolf Prince. Now, he travelled really, really well. I just think it wasn't just a day for Aramax. I just think it was a clear round, get over the fall. Thought he travelled into the race nicely. Thought he jumped nicely, which was key as well. He's now got an Irish mark of 126, which would suggest he's going to be in around 130 in England potentially. 129 got into the race last year, so he should get in. He's 14-1 with Bet365. You might say he doesn't deserve to be 14-1, but I think we haven't seen the best of Aramax.
Okay.
And to me, he could be the 2020 Fred Winter winner.
Okay.
14-1 Aramax. And my other selection, Hold the Note, 16-1 for the Close Brothers. Can you beat that?
Not for price, no.
No.
But for winners, yeah.
We'll see.
I'm going to take a chance on the first one for Honeysuckle in the Champion Hurdle. Now, Henry keeps saying that she's probably going to run in the Mayor's Hurdle, but I just...
This is very un-Gavin Lynch-like.
Yeah, taking a chance.
Tipping a horse that mightn't even run in the race.
Well, last year we had the same conundrum with Apples Jade when she won the Irish Champion Hurdle. Would she run in the Mayor's or the Champion Hurdle?
I hope that turns out better for you.
Well, at least she ran the Champion Hurdle.
So Honeysuckle... I thought you were only after winners.
So Honeysuckle won a point, won 6 in the track, 5 at Fairyhouse, 1 at Thurles, 1 at 2 mile, 1 at 2-2, the rest at 2.5. So you'd have to question, has she got the gears for 2 mile? I think she has.
Left-handed a worry?
Not really, because I went and looked at her winner point this morning video. It's on YouTube in Dromahan. I did. And she jumped the last 3 fences straight as gun barrel. So no worries going left-handed. Okay. She's now 7-4 and 2-1 to win the Irish Champion Hurdle in a couple of weeks. I think she'll go there. Like, he's talking about running in the Irish Champion Hurdle or the Red Mills Trial. He's not talking about that Conditions Mayor's Hurdle in the middle of February.
No.
So if he's thinking about that, he's thinking of maybe bigger things.
And even the fact that they just threw her into the Hatton's Grace. Yeah. That tells you they're not afraid to have a go.
And the other thing about gears is she travelled at the home bend. She actually, Rachel took a pull turning in. So I've no worries really about the trip, and you have to stay in a Champion Hurdle.
And in a weak year, she could just be different class.
Well, the other thing that I'd say to you is that they have a guide with Petit Mouchoir who ran a cracker in the Morgiana and again at Christmas. I'd say if you asked Henry which is the best horse, he'd look at you funny. Yeah.
Well, he'd probably look at us funny anyway, but yeah, I'd say Honeysuckle is...
So I think at 10-1, I think she's great value. I think if she wins the Irish Champion Hurdle, she'd go here. And I could see her being 3-1 joint favourite with Epatante.
Good, solid pick. Happy with that.
So I think 10-1
well
fine.
Done. Well
and don't forget she gets the £7 at Cheltenham. So.
Bit annoyed I didn't think of that one myself.
I think it'd be a fair gelding to give her £7.
Yeah.
I think she's better than Epatante.
Potentially, hopefully.
The second horse I'm going for is Carefully Selected that we've spoken about earlier for the National Hunt Chase.
Do you know what? I could have guessed that. Do you know, coming in this morning, I would have said, do you know what? Gavin's going to go for Carefully Selected.
I think 6-1 is fair value. There's not many that stand out. The horse you've picked has obviously got a great chance. He won a point-to-point. Since then has only ran 8 times. Won 2 bumpers. Placed in the champion bumper at Cheltenham and also in Punchestown. Had only 2 runs over hurdles. Won a maiden hurdle in Limerick. And then ran a cracker a couple of months later in Punchestown. Which was a very good run in Grade 1 behind Manila Indo. And then 2 runs over fences. Right-handed Fairyhouse. Right-handed Punchestown. Jumped okay the first day. Jumped better in Punchestown. Jumped a bit to its left. So it'll definitely prefer going the other way around at Cheltenham.
I think Patrick has had his eye on him for quite some time.
Yeah, and the thing, I was thinking about tipping it up maybe a month ago, but Faugheen was in the back of my head that he might go here, but he can't really go here because if he runs in the flow gas Grade 1 over 2.5, well then he's not qualified. So
okay. So where are we going to see Carefully Second? 10 up at Navan?
There's a race in Naas as well, so he's the choice of either of those, I think. So,
okay.
But yeah, he has to run, so he's not qualified yet, but I think he's got a huge chance.
And 6-1 you think is... Well, what you said earlier, we're probably not likely to have as big a field as usual.
I don't think so.
Which will Cheltenham officials will be very happy with. And you've got 2 horses there that are proper Grade 1 horses.
Proper Grade 1
Champagne
horses.
Classic, carefully selected.
And the other
so
thing
it
is
could
you're gonna
develop
have-
into a 2-horse race.
It could, and you've also got Patrick on one, and then who'll ride your one? Jamie.
Well, Jamie or Lisa, I'd say.
Yeah. So, yeah, carefully selected. I think at 6-1's a good value, and I'm taking a chance on Honeysuckle at 10s for the champion order.
Yeah, very fair. I think you'll have plenty of Up in the Ante viewers agreeing with you there. So there you go, folks. That is this week's Ante-Post tips for the 2020 Cheltenham Festival. Imagine, Gavin, that was episode 11. We're getting closer.
Yep.
Getting closer. It's nearly upon us. I can almost feel it, so I can.
I think it's 8 weeks today.
I can almost feel it. 8 weeks today, the 2020 Cheltenham Festival kicks off. Of course, that's it for this week's show. Don't forget to join us next Tuesday when we'll be on to episode 12 of Up in the Ante. I've been David Jennings. He's been Gavin Lynch. Thanks for watching.